Welcome back to State of the Private Markets, your backstage pass to the companies shaping the future before they hit the public markets. Speaking of welcome back, one of the hardest things to me personally about this whole Diddy saga is I can no longer sing Welcome Back by Mace featuring Diddy when I open podcasts. Nonetheless, each month we break down the biggest valuation shifts, hiring trends, and must know moves in the private markets so you can stay ahead of the curve. That's the goal. We want to make you sound really, really smart when you're talking to your friends on Microsoft Teams. Wow, Teams is bad. Valuations, the most valuable private tech companies. We'll get to that today. Hiring trends, fastest growing teams and notable layoffs, sector highlights, a deep dive into HR tech, security, and legal tech. I picked out some hitters for you. Company spotlights, updates on Wiz, Harvey, and Deal. Three companies I've been keeping close tabulates on. Fundraising, the biggest rounds you need to know about. Executive moves. Who's stepping into that CFO chair, folks? Who's going to ring a ding dong that bell for an IPO at some point? But first, a quick word from our sponsor, NetSuite. Wow. Can you believe that? The gold standard of ERPs. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts. And you, sir or madame, will get 10 answers. Bull market, bear market, rates will rise or fall. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? No need. You have an ERP, baby. Until then, over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, HR into one fluid platform. It's a lot to say in one breath. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. And you're closing the books in days, not weeks. If you're closing the books in weeks, get out of here, folks. You're fired. You're spending less time looking backwards and more time on what is next. Let's be honest, they're the gold standard, the Cadillac of ERPs. So whether your company's earning millions or even hundreds of millions, that would be nice. NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Speaking of opportunity, download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/metrics. Please do it. I really need this, guys. The guide is free to you and from me and from NetSuite at netsuite.com/metrics. That is netsuite.com/metrics as you type it in, and please go there for me. Now, the most valuable private tech companies teamed up with our friends at position.so to pull this data. By the way, it's data. If you say data, that's weird. At the top of the leaderboard, Elon Musk, you may have heard of him. He's not just running companies, he's running a small economy. Between SpaceX, xAI, and X, he's now responsible for checking the calculation, nearly 450 billion in private company value. That is more than the GDP of South Africa or Finland, folks. Yes, I went on Wikipedia before this and looked that up. And if you add in Tesla's enterprise value, the number jumps to 1.5 trillion, which puts them ahead of entire Fortune 500 sectors combined. And I'm not even talking about the US government that he has a hand in. Meanwhile, CoreWeave, they're moving fast. Whoa, maybe too fast for the SEC's printers to keep up. Yes, the AI computing company was valued at only $2 billion back in 2022. Today, they're valued at $26 billion and climbing. Rumor has it they'll file for an IPO next week, aiming for a valuation of over $35 billion. So if true, they'd be raising $4 billion, enough to build data centers the size of 10 Costco warehouses. A lot of chips, and I ain't talking Tostitos chips inside those Costco warehouses. I got to stop making up jokes on the fly. Since last month, Anduril has been the biggest mover, doubling its valuation to $28 billion thanks to rising government defense spending. Yeah, they jumped from 14 to 28. That is a sizable leap. And over in AI, Anthropic's latest fundraising round pushed its valuation to $60 billion, placing it just outside the top 5 that we track. Next, folks, I want to talk to you about hiring and layoff trends. So if you want a leading indicator of future growth or contraction, look no further than headcount. Why? Because over 70% of SaaS expenses go to people. So using our friends database at position.so, so everyone's doing the, no more .com. You're not cool anymore. .ai, that's lame. It's .so. We tracked hiring trends across 5,000 private companies. So the fastest hiring companies, I'm talking 500 plus employees, 500 million raised. I want them to be actual sizable companies, so it's not the law of small numbers. xAI, they grew at 1,300% year over year. And then you got Writer, OpenAI, Anthropic, CoreWeave, and Glean all growing over 80%. Over in cybersecurity, Wiz and Huntress all grew at over 70% year over year. And in the back office, Ramp and HiBob are open for business, also hiring at 65% or more. Now, sharpest headcount decreases, some high profile companies that have been forced to cut costs. Now we're looking at this Feb to Feb, year over year. Sysdig, they downsized as cloud security continues to consolidate. They hired a new gentleman to helm the ship, CEO Bill Welch, ex Zscaler and Symantec, who stepped in November of 2024. Getter, yes, another one of those companies delivering 24 packs of Poland Springs on small bicycles. Once a pandemic darling, now exiting Europe and the US, and their valuation was cut from a high of 11.8 billion. That is nuts, to just 2.5 billion. So you're gonna have to order from Instacart this month. Vice Media, this one hit home. But if you remember, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They're now owned by Fortress Investment Group. I really hope Action Bronson still has a show. Sector deep dives. We picked HR tech, security, and legal tech for you this week. So I'm calling it. I think there's a back office consolidation wave going on. So HR and finance in particular, they seem to be merging. And the biggest signal is that HiBob and HRIS, so you can keep track of all the people you have on board, they went out and acquired Mosaic, who's an FP&A tool, so for budgeting and forecasting. And it's like hiring teams don't just need payroll anymore. They need forecasting, they need compliance, they need financial integrations built in. And you have companies out there that have tightening budgets and they don't want 10 different point solutions in their back office. They want a single source of truth, right? Just give me the damn data, the correct data in one place, preferably. And this is exactly how ERP software evolved from the beginning. If you remembered back in the day with the likes of, the Oracles, the ADPs, the SAPs, et cetera. And we're about to see HR tech follow the same path. What's going on in security? Well, there's a really good show on Netflix. It's called 0 Day with Robert De Niro, and that one scared me a bit. What was once a 4-horse race between Wiz, Orca, Lacework, and Sneak is now a Wiz. Guys, Wiz is just running away with the show. So they're at closing in on, well, we know they're over 500 million, on track for 1 billion in revenue. Sneak's at about 300, but half the size and growth of Wiz. Orca looks to be sub 200 million, and their growth is estimated to be flattening. And then Lacework, wow, they were picked up for a song by Fortinet after a failed deal with Wiz. Yeah, that's right. So Wiz was hanging around the hoop, and then that didn't go through. So then they were picked up by Fortinet for a bargain. Keep an eye on Island, right? They're funded by Doug Leone over at Sequoia, along with Insight, and they're building momentum in enterprise browser security. Always cool when you can own a category. Yeah. And Huntress, they're quietly owning the SMB cybersecurity space, an untapped market. A couple of SMBs out there saw 0 Day and said, I need to get me some security. Between Harvey, Clio, and Ironclad, folks, legal tech is having its day. Legal automation is truly having a moment. If you look at Harvey, which is one of the fastest growing companies ever to 50 million in ARR, they 4x'd year over year. Clio, they're dominating legal workflows. We interviewed their CFO, Kurt, on the podcast, who is very passionate about stock-based comp. If you're interested in stock-based comp, that guy put on an absolute masterclass. And what I love about Clio is they meet customers where they want to work within their existing workflows, right? A lesson that all vertical software companies can take. And then you have Ironclad, bringing AI to contract management. So if AI is coming for white collar jobs, legal is certainly a perfect first target. Just take notes. Company spotlights. Like I said, folks, I picked out some hitters, heavy hitters only. Private giants redefining their industry. So we said Wiz is crushing it. If you remember, Google slid this $23 billion buyout offer across the table. Wiz doesn't blink. They slide it back and they say, we are going to get to $1 billion in IPO. So they're growing at 100% year over year from 500 million in ARR, on track to hit 1 billion in revenue in 2025. And keep an eye out for them to ring a ding dong that bell. And I mean, if you look at the likes of cybersecurity companies like a CrowdStrike, they're trading around 20x forward revenue. Now a lot bigger, not growing as fast though, but like they're dominating the endpoint market. You could argue that the cloud security space that Wiz is playing in is larger and has larger ticket sizes. So if they can keep stacking multi-product, it's going to be a really awesome story there. So they could trade for a rich multiple. Harvey, the AI co-pilot for lawyers. Wouldn't it be nice if you had Harvey Specter helping you? I refuse to believe that this company was not named after the character from Suits. If you've ever watched a lawyer sift through a 1,000-page contract with 3 highlighters and a headache, you understand why Harvey exists. They raised $300 million in Series D funding at a $3 billion valuation. Like I said, 4x ARR growth in 2024. They're serving over 200 customers across 42 countries. Talk about going international from the beginning. Whoa, that's a brave move, which includes most of the top U.S. law firms. There are a lot of lawyers out there, folks. There are a lot of lawyers out there. Deal, the profitable global hiring machine. So hiring internationally used to be a logistical nightmare, endless paperwork, compliance, headaches, payroll systems held together with duct tape. I tried to set up a bank account in Singapore once. That almost killed me. Deal's doing over 800 million in revenue. They are profitable, which is crazy, and they're growing at 70% year over year. That's wild. They could hit 1 billion in revenue this quarter, and they want to make hiring across 10 plus countries as easy as booking an Airbnb. How I describe Deal to friends is like as if Workday and ADP got together and had an international baby. So I'm excited for whenever Deal could potentially go public. The multiple they would be trading at, I guess, is like a very, very high and rich marketplace multiple, more so than a pure play SaaS multiple, because it's basically a subscription play on the people that they're helping hire. So I don't think it would trade at necessarily like a CrowdStrike multiple, who we just mentioned, but I do think that it would trade well above like an Airbnb multiple. So notable rounds and CFO hires. Anduril, they raised 2.5 bajillion, doubling their valuation to 28 billion. Saronic, guess who went down a rabbit hole last night and was in bed at 1 a.m. watching videos of these autonomous floaty float machines in the water going around? Me. They raised 600 million for AI-powered marine defense tech. I don't know why I call them floaty float machines. I think I've been playing with rubber ducks in the bathtub too often. Mercury, they reportedly raised at a $3 billion valuation on 500 million in revenue. Congrats to the team over there, redefining how entrepreneurs bank. Some executive moves. Fivetran hired a new CFO, Suresh Seshadri, who joined. Fivetran, they kind of stitched together your BI pipelines in the back. They're crushing it. They're growing quickly. Flock Safety hired Brandon Simmons to join as CFO. Congrats to him. And Grammarly, friend of the pod, Matt Hudson, who was the CFO of Coda at the time, they were acquired by Grammarly, and he now steps to the CFO seat there. Great for him. That's a wrap on this month's State of the Private Markets. I get so amped up and pumped to do this report because I think it can make you smarter on the companies who are going to eventually dip their toes into the public markets here. Please subscribe, because we're going to cover CoreWeave in their upcoming IPO. And we'll also do an IPO S1 breakdown on mostlymetrics.com. So thanks to our sponsor, NetSuite, for this podcast here. Thanks to the folks over at position.so. Thanks to my dog, Walter, over on the couch, staring into my soul as I do this by myself. I appreciate your camaraderie, Walter. Until next time, peace.